So let's talk a little bit about change and the creation process. Because a lot of people are into these concepts of change, how to create change. And we've talked about this a little bit lately, but this whole notion of using your power of your mind to create what you want. And again, we've touched on this lately, so I'm not going to be too redundant on that. But this whole idea, God created us in its image, and believe it or not, God is actually supporting the idea. If you see things in your world that you do not like, change them. But an ego-centered person hears that and makes it their version. So instead, God is saying, if you don't like something, change it. And the ego-centered person takes it as, if my ego doesn't like something, I have the right to change it to what my ego wants. And that's most of the systems out there that are teaching change. They're still teaching, I don't like what I want, meaning my ego does not like what it wants, or what I have, or what I'm experiencing. So my ego is going to change it to be more suitable to what my ego wants. That's not what God meant when it's saying, if you don't like what you're experiencing, which means if you have miscreated, if you have created something fear-based, hate-based, lack-based, or whatever, change it. Not fix the outside, start here. If you see something you don't like on the outside, and that's why people don't like the real creation process versus the other, the one it's tangential. Because one is saying, you get to have what you want. You don't like it, just change it. Which is like having all these amazing little tyrannical, so-called spiritual, but tyrants on the planet. I think the sun should be over there. I want 3 moons, I want 2 moons. And everybody's just going to sit around throwing planets around and making things change the way they want to change them. But it doesn't work that way. There's a good reason why the law of manifestation has a delay mechanism. And the law of manifestation process, that whole process, also has another security element to it, which is you can't just keep creating what you want, because it also has to be on some level suitable to the collective. So if I want to make a change in my life, I also have to somehow convince the collective to be okay with that change. I can make changes without the collective agreeing. It's just in the illusion of life, it seems harder. So if I want to change and say, I want suddenly there to be a lake the size of half a state in the United States, right in the middle of the country, it's not going to happen because I want. But if we agreed collectively to manifest such a thing, it becomes more likely. 2 or more gathered have a more powerful capability of creating, right? So think of it like this. The more I become part of the we, on a heart-centered, God-centered love basis, the more I can convince the heart of others, in a good way, convince the heart of others that this might be a good idea for us to steer a little left or right when we're trying to make adjustments to our nation or our lives or, economy or whatever it happens to be. So change can happen, but the laws include things like the delay mechanism. Because if your daily daydreamings could create, think of how often you're daydreaming. Oh, I wonder, poof. It's when I was a kid. I remember when I was like 5, there was a joke. There was a joke that kids were telling about a guy that meets a genie. And as silly as it sounds, but I was 5. So, this kid, somebody meets a genie and is granted a wish or whatever, and he wishes for this, he wishes for $1 million, whatever, pot of gold, let's say, and then he wishes for something else, like a cool vehicle or whatever. He has only one wish left, and the guy is like walking down the street, and he's got a jingle in his head. I wish I were an Oscar Mayer wiener. Poof! And so, we walk around with this. If I could just create, I wish this and I want this, boom, 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 life would not be good at all. And that's sort of what we did when we first came into this universe, is we started projecting our minds into limited beings, into things on this planet for that matter. In a sense, you could say we got stuck. Our infinitely creative minds were used for limited creations And the more, this is important, the more we create with limited consciousness, we become those limitations. You become them. Life becomes you, right? We become them, and then you're not even as free and open in your consciousness to create higher things anymore. So the denser you become, the less capable you are to create infinitely. And so it's kind of sad because we're given infinite power to create, but thank God we don't, based on these limited minds. The good news, however, is that it can change. But it won't change because of someone putting out there a video or a teaching or a YouTube, whatever, saying, you can get what you want. And look at how everybody Googles it. I want this, and how do I get what I want? I want my soulmate. I want this. I want the lottery. And all it is coming from a place of lack again. The only way you're truly ever co-creating with God is when you come from a place of being and having already. Well, then what's the point of that? If I'm already full, what would I need to create? There's still a lot to create, but it comes from love. Instead of I want, I need, I want, I need, I want, I need, or to be all new agey, you're not supposed to say want or need. You're supposed to say I desire. It's the same thing. Knock it off. It's the same thing. I'm wanting, needing, longing, desiring, choosing. Oh, because that's the cool, real cool. Choosing is a real empowered word. No, it isn't. Not if you're still mental. If you're still off spiritually and you're trying to use positive, wonderful, empowering New Age terms, it doesn't matter. You're still coming from the wrong place. The only way we are co-creating with God, which is the only right place, right-mindedness, is when we're in a state of completion. It doesn't mean you're not allowed to say, I'd like to get a new car today or whatever. It just means feeling-wise, there's no desperation. The average person that says, I'd like to create a twin soul partnership, soulmate partnership, doesn't say, let me check in and do that from here. That would be just fine. I would love to share life with a soulmate, and I don't care either way because I'm already feeling quite complete. That's a person that more likely can create a healthy person in their life. Anyone that's centering in from that, still that place, I'm from an empowered, Om Mani Padme, Boom Shakalaka, I am that I am, incense, gong, and from this holy, high powered place, I am ready to create my soulmate. But there's still that thing inside. The subtext is, because I don't want to grow alone. Chant alone. It doesn't help. Just because you're toning it and chanting it and trying to make it look good, it's still coming from, I don't want to grow alone. I need a person to share financial issues, whatever it happens to be. It's learning to come from this place of God, I am. So that when we say, let there be light, when we're saying it's time to create, you're only creating when you know that when you push that button, that you're in your right mind. So go ahead and make your lists and make your charts and everything you want to create. Just remember, before you say, yes, I'm choosing this, creating this, co-creating any wording fancy or whatever, before you do, pause and ask yourself, am I feeling like I'm in a state of love? And can I imagine that the things I'm about to imagine, like a car, house, whatever it is, when I push this button, can I imagine sharing anything that I'm about to ask for? I wish I had better health. What will you do with it? I'll smile more often. Excellent, push the button. Because you're going to bring it to other people. That's one way to know when you're coming from the wrong creation consciousness, is if you're not even bothering to think of how it can make a difference in anyone else's life. You can't create with God and not have the concept of sharing it in your consciousness. I don't care how many houses you have or how much money you have. You actually have zero because they're an illusion. If you don't have the consciousness of sharing with those houses and cash and whatever you happen to have, then you don't actually have it. It's an illusion you seem to possess. When you leave this world, anything you have not shared will be gone and you will experience lack next time around. Only that which we share, is actually kept. because it's a consciousness. You can't lose consciousness per se, really. You know, if I develop the ability to know what abundant consciousness is, and I'm so abundant that I can't imagine not sharing what I have because I'm abundant, that's a consciousness and it's with me. I would have to work really hard to ever lose that attained consciousness because it's who I am. It's easy to lose a $100 bill if you have it in your pocket and you have a hole in your pocket. It's easy to lose a $100 bill. You could go, oh, 100, man, that's a lot of money to me. Good, but as you're fishing around daily, it can fall out. It can go into the laundry. Lots of things can happen to a $100 bill, but not a lot can happen to someone who actually holds that consciousness in their being, in the center of their being. So it's very important to learn to discern the difference between co-creating with God and just having the ego leak through. And it will always try to leak through to anything you're trying to create. But there's God's reality, which is love and bliss. There's the ego's non-reality of pain and limitation. So what God is saying is you have the power to change things that you don't like, but he doesn't mean manipulating matter. He's talking about here. Is there something that's not feeling right in here? Even if it's about material stuff. I'm just upset. I constantly have bills I don't think I can pay, and I deal with this month-to-month basis. God is saying, honey, it sounds like you're not at peace. What are you looking for? Cash. Oops, I got hijacked there. See, I was in prayer for a moment, but immediately cash came out of my mouth before I could send her. Oh, sorry about that. That was my bad. I burped. So, excuse me, God, no problem. So now try that again. What are you looking for? I just don't feel peace. Well, then what are you looking for? Peace, financial peace, where I feel tranquil inside around finances and I feel abundant. Could you feel abundant without having the cash that you spit out a moment ago? Yes. Could you have cash and not feel peace? Yes. But not real peace. Could you have cash and think that you're feeling human, like I'm okay for a while? Yes. But you'll never have, because of cash, inner peace. You have to get the consciousness if you want the consciousness. The cash, money can't buy you love. Money can't buy you God. But can God get you money? Yes. Then why not go that route? Go with the thing that gives you both, not the one that doesn't. So you center in and say, okay, what I'm asking for, God, is that's it, peace. I'm looking for prosperity consciousness. So when he asked Solomon, what do you want? Solomon said, out of all the things I could ask for, money and whatever else, I'll take wisdom. And God said, wow, you chose to seek first the kingdom or consciousness of God. Now you'll get everything else. Now, if we didn't have any other story in the Bible or any other holy book, but that one, it's telling you everything. One human being is demonstrating to us all how to get life to go right. Seek first the consciousness of God. He just used the word wisdom. You could use peace, bliss, joy, anything that's an attribute of God. Choose to center into a feeling of God. Believe it or not, the rest will come. Well, no, because inner peace doesn't guarantee me lottery. You haven't tried it. Tap into the consciousness of God and watch that there is no limit to what it'll bring. It's amazing. Get the lottery, it doesn't guarantee you, it guarantees you a little bit of happiness, a little excitement, a little tranquility or peace for the moment, but it doesn't give you the real thing. So the only way to get the consciousness of God is to go for the consciousness of God. And then we're taught by religions and so forth, and I'm not trying to diss religion, I'm saying this is what we're taught in our historically speaking, in our families and customs and religions, that you have to choose God or manna, material. And then here's what they did to us, and you only get one. Fine. My conscience tells me I have to choose God, so I'm ready. I might as well start on my diet now because I won't have food or money or anything good. I guess I'll be a celibate. Woohoo! This is an encouraging life. I hope you're watching, God, because I don't want to do this for more than one lifetime. After this, I better ascend. Then you find out you just come back as somebody not getting any. You're just coming back with the same old vows. I got no cash, no affection. Wow, this is great. How did I get into this? So we mess around with this for lifetimes before we realize something's still wrong with this. Because we were not taught, you're allowed to call in the consciousness of God and have cash. The consciousness of God and you could be attractive. You can dress well. It's okay to be aligned with God and still wear diamonds. But if you have 20 diamond rings, give one away. You know, if it ever becomes mine, something's still wrong. It's an interesting little bit in mythology, just to segue for a second. You know, I've said before, like right now we're experiencing what's called a Saturn retrograde. And yeah, somebody's, but we're going through this Saturn retrograde. Well, it's an interesting thing because in mythology, you know, Saturn is just one of the planets moving to kind of keep us evolving. So each planet's bringing in lessons, and it's like an actual, like there are friends bringing us the right consciousness. Gifts, challenges, just in a sense like relationships. But it's very objective. The planets are just kind of moving energy and consciousness for us to learn. It's kind of cool. But we made, you know, it into, there's no Saturn, there's a Satan. And we made the thing that is testing us into an evil. But it isn't. How's it evil? If you don't succumb to it, how's it got any power over you? What's going on? It's you. So we're the ones who have to be tested. We're the ones who have to become who we really are. And how do you know you're who you really claim to be? Unless you prove it through initiation, so to speak. So Saturn and all that. Well, you have Saturn and Satan. In Egyptian mythology, it's called Set instead of Satan. So Set is the one that's always mischievous, trying to mess everybody up, trying to fight with Horus or Jesus. Again, similar terminology. So Set's doing these kinds of, things. Set is the name, like the goddess name. It's the big name, the archetypal name of this being, Set, Satan, Saturn. You see? However, the human name of a character historically that ended up taking on the name of Set mythologically, his name was Relig. Did you know that? His name was Relig. Now, how many people have you ever heard say, did you know the root of the name, the word religion or relig, is synonymous with evil? It's kind of interesting. I mean, you should have thought that one through before you called yourself a religion, these people. But anyway, because it's sort of doomed already. All that said, we are here to learn to be what God created us to be. And relig taught us to live in lack. Because relig, Saturn, Satan, Set, evil, is only what it is because we still succumb to it. Because we still buy into it. It being whomever, whatever. Your own ego. It's all the same. Your ego, your parents, your abusers, they're all the same. They're people that do what they do because Set is going to be Set. Loki, in the mythological, stories of the North, he's going to do what he's going to do. You can't count on him to ever really just come from holiness. But he's also there testing you to become a better person. One day, if there's a character out there called Satan, Loki and all these beings, if ever there's one out there, the day that we all ascend, we'll put him up on an extra platform to thank him for being there to test us, to confirm whether we're really who we say we are. In a sense, you could say that's the ultimate Course in Miracles version of one day you will be grateful to your brothers and sisters who have sort of ticked you off and hurt you, not because of what they did. I'm not saying you're going to thank their hurtful behaviors, but there will come a time when we're going to say, wow, I can see how that was very helpful to me to confirm I'm done with that game. So whatever they happen to be, predators of rejection, predators of betrayal, when you stop being desperate, they're going to stop being attracted to you. So when they've taught you to work on yourself, which usually takes us through hell, because that's the mythological metaphor of these beings being in our life, causing our problems, when in fact, they're just initiations. So if you don't like what you're seeing in your world, you can't just manipulate the outside. You go inside and say, this is interesting. Why am I attracted to psychos? Instead of, I wish there were no psychos in my life. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on psychotherapy. And somehow the psychos are doing better. Yeah, because you went to psychotherapy. But you forgot this one. If you have a good counselor, they're going to take you here. Any counselor that allows you to keep talking about other people is actually failing. Now, they should let you talk about other people for a while. But if they're good, they need to navigate you into here, which is why a 12-step program is sometimes more effective than religions and other things that claim to be about self-help. Because it's doing something that most don't seem to do, which is navigate me here. Cause me to look at myself. Instead of me just coming in with yet another story about someone else who harmed me, tell me why I have this pattern. Can we look at that pattern of mine? Oh my God, magnifying glass, I see it. Magnifying, look within with a magnifying glass and take a look at those little bits. There's a little bit of low self-worth. So Loki, Set, and whomever, Satan, they're attracted to me because they see it and they love to feed off those weaknesses. But how cool that I can use them to become my magnifying glass to see these bits within myself so that I come out of it. You use them, the evil people, to see your worst parts. You see? And then all of a sudden, oh my God, I rise, I ascend to the top of the mountain by the help of people who had no intention of helping us. But we turned it into that because, that's a master, someone that can step up and say, man, this is amazing. So, we can put on the mind of Christ, it's called. Put on the mind of Christ. Meaning not just Jesus, but put on the mind of Christ consciousness. Learn to see through the eyes of holiness. I am made in God's image. If I have creepy people acting kind of funky in my life, I need to look at where that pattern is in me that would even attract them. You don't have to overanalyze or certainly not blame yourself for having them in your life when I say attract them. I'm just saying, be willing to look. What's going on here? Well, it looks like someone that's acting kind of rude or mean or creepy or whatever it is in my life. But wait, what are they bringing up inside of me? What can I uproot to never have to revisit this again? Uproot it. Don't have the plant there. If you say, well, I've got these certain plants and critters keep coming into my garden and eating them, you have an option. You can stop planting the things that they want to come and eat. That's an option. So that we don't have to hear you complain. No, I actually like complaining. I have to have something to complain about. Oh, okay, then just say that. So that we know we might as well put our feet up and have some tea while you start your next round of complaining about things that come to eat your garden pieces or whatever. The other option is you fence it in. It's called boundaries. It's where you say, hey, guess what? You can be creepy, but not here. Not today. Not now. Not any more than that right there. Done. See, when they sense, they're going to be themselves. The creeps, the critters, the whatever, they're going to come around and go, we heard you have some stuff that we like. Yeah, but I'm pretty healthy, see? Fence, caged in, kind of protected, kind of nice auric space around my garden. And you don't just have to build fences, literally. It's a metaphor, guys. There are beings that don't want to be in an auric space of a healthy person. They'll come around and you're like, just like this nice light. And there are beings that don't like to have light shined on them. You see? If you say they snuck in, they can't sneak in if they don't find a weak spot to sneak in through. Because they're going to do what they're going to do. Like the Buddhist story of, these two guys, wandering, and they come across a stream and they, see a scorpion starting to drown in the stream. So one of them takes it out, stings him, and he tries again, and he finally gets it out. And the other monk is like, why did you keep trying to save it if it kept stinging you? And he says, because stinging is what it does and saving things is what I do. We're both doing our thing. What am I going to hate it for doing its thing? People are going to be what people are, including us. And if you don't like it, make a change. Ways to make changes include see something that's not quite right and do your inner healing. Be committed to this as a maintenance program. An ongoing process. Something's not feeling quite right. Look inside. What's that about? Heal it. That's the best way because you've uprooted it. But also, not first, also make external adjustments to certain things. You can go out and do prayer in your yard. You can work with the elementals and say, I'm clear. I choose love of God. Now I'm holding that space. Now that I'm holding a divine state of consciousness, I am capable of talking to the nature spirits. Everybody thinks they can just go out and talk to nature spirits. They actually don't like dysfunctional people. They're not interested in talking to dysfunctional people. If you go out there, on the ground, and you have a pile of cigarette butts, couple beer bottles, and you go, you go find some prayer on the internet. Oh, beings of the gardens, be with me and help me grow better carrots. No, it doesn't work. They're going to say, the carrots you're growing are toxic. We're moving. They leave the property because of the dysfunction in the person that's should be co-creator on that property. They like healthy. So when we are trying to create a change in our lives, it starts inside. And then the nature spirits come to say, who's here? There's exciting news. A child of God was born in Bethlehem today. A child of God was born in this town, wherever you're living. I mean, it's true. The nature spirits all come together when someone has got their act together. Because it's symbolic of, guess what? Someone is being in their holy state of mind. And it's irresistible. It is. Just like dysfunction is irresistible to dysfunctional people. Functionality, healthiness, holiness, it's attractive. I mean, I know it sounds strange. But Jesus is born and angels come. There are reports of people saying in that time that there was this weird vibration. You could actually hear molecules collectively singing, peace on earth and goodwill to man. Peace on earth. Do you have that vibration in the ethers every time you walk in a room? Many of us not. The universe is going, oh God, they're here again. There's this sigh. When we walk into a room, there should be an excitement, an exuberance. There should be that feeling of, I love being alive because I'm here. And I'm not just here to get, I'm here to give, to share. So the whole world should go, oh, that's that person again. That's that person again. I've said before, once a year or so, if I've got some money in savings, I take it, I go cash it into $50 bills, I put them in cards, and I go to Walmart and hand them out to people. And I've done this for many years. But it's kind of amazing because after a couple years, people recognize you. Oh, you're that guy that, and I'm not doing it because I'm the guy that, but the fact that they remember. You see what I'm saying there? That's what's supposed to happen when you walk outside your door today. Your yard is supposed to go, oh, it's them. The guy that hands out $50 bills, when he's got some savings, he goes and cashes it and gives it away. The birds should be going, oh, look, them. And they sing more. When they hear you waking up, they should sing more. They should be happy because a child of God, the Christ was born today. That's how real this can all be. I mean, it's quite beautiful, quite startling if you think about it. Everyone, just like, if it were a cartoon you're watching about someone saving critters from destruction of some, the evil forces they'll make in a cartoon. You're the one that says, no, not today. And it's really difficult in a world that doesn't support that. I do know that. Because, growing up in a household or being around people at jobs, to be the kind of person that, one time I was helping with some tree trimming with the city. They were doing tree trimming. And as a kid, I worked there for a couple months part-time. And I remember, one time in particular, a guy came out of his house and he said, could you guys do me a favor? Could you trim the shrubs that are coming over the fence? Could you trim them just an extra foot further? And I'm like, well, of course. Even though we're on the other side of the fence, he wanted them trimmed just a little further back, Of course. The other guys are like, what are you doing? Well, he asked for us to trim. You don't do favors for people. That's his problem. That's too much on his side of the property. See, my mind can't do that. So I become immediately a nuisance again. Because I'm the guy that isn't listening. Because I'm listening to something else. And it's a drag. It's a drag to be that oddball constantly on this planet who says, to give, to share. If you say to me, here's a gift of $1 million, what am I going to do? Just keep every dime? There's someone else out there today that could use $100. Give $100 away. Share a portion. I'm not saying be irresponsible with gifts and so on. I'm just saying just keep this flow. And by giving, you become. So what if it's true that you will only ever become based on the portion of what you give, which is kind of true? Then that means everything else we're doing is a complete waste of time on this planet because it has nothing to do with giving, sharing, abundance, give and share. Just keep giving and sharing. Someone that just feels like they, don't have a reason to live even. And you have no idea how many people feel that every day. It's not just the ones that are so obvious. Just never know what it's going to mean to somebody to share a compliment. So keep this in mind. And I'm going to start to close in a second, but I'm going to read a quote from A Course in Miracles. This is about the creation process as it happens through us. Very vividly through A Course in Miracles. All things I think, now this is very deep, so kind of keep the chronology in your mind as I go. All things I think I see reflect ideas. So everything that I perceive in my world is actually a reflection of a concept in my mind. This is salvation's keynote. Remember this. What I see reflects a process in my mind, which starts with an idea or concept of what I want. From there, the mind then makes up an image of the thing that the mind desires, and it judges valuable and then seeks to find it. Is that making sense so far? I have a concept in my mind, I project it outside and put mental energy on it to manifest it because it looks like the thing I think I want. So my outside world is manifesting things that I internally desire. The problem is, it doesn't always look good. So then who desired that? It must have been someone else, not me, because I'm only, thinking of great concepts. I'm wonderful and I'm ready for a partnership. Then I manifested somebody that's not so nice. Because sometimes underneath my I'm ready for partnership, healthy, wonderful partner, is also potentially a little desperation. I'm afraid of being alone or whatever. Don't think that that's not going to filter into your creation. It leaks in there. It's like a sci-fi movie where someone's creating something in a lab and someone else sneaks in and puts some other DNA in there and you end up with a Frankenstein, so to speak. But that somebody is the ego. It has no intention of you actually creating, beautiful reflections all the time. It goes on to say, these images are then projected outward, looked upon, esteemed as real, and then guarded as one's own. For insane wishes and judgment from insane wishes and judgment come an insane and condemned world. And from forgiving thoughts, a gentle world comes forth with mercy for the holy children of God, to offer them a kindly home where they can rest a while before they journey on and help their brothers and sisters walk ahead with them and find the way to heaven and to God. So what we're seeing in our outside world could be a holy reflection or an ego-based reflection. And this is just a quote I'm going to share that sort of takes that and breaks it down into what I'm going to call chakras. I forget where I wrote this. It's a quote from somewhere. It was either one of my talks here or maybe one of my books. But creation starts. Everything could, in using chakras, everything could start as God I am. And it could just flow down through every chakra until root chakra means the manifestation level. So we're capable of I am all the way through to the manifestation level without inhibition, without any kind of pause or getting hooked anywhere or snagged. Perfect God consciousness can flow all the way down to the level of manifestation. Okay? It goes from the upper three chakras, the I am one with God. All thoughts of creation flow. If you want anything to manifest, it comes through the root chakra, if it's manifested. Physical chakra, physical manifestation. So, if you want something to manifest, keep the flow uninhibited from crown to root. But it goes from our upper three chakras and it flows first into our heart. The heart chakra, it's the idea of what we want to see. It's born from our beliefs of who and what we are. So in the God chakras is the I know who I am. But most people cannot be in the knowing because they're in this body and the world beats them up too much. They forget the absolute knowingness. And the knowingness shifts to, well, I'm not in total knowingness, but I believe. And that's you and I draw down into the heart chakra. So picture it. I know that I'm worthy of abundance. Well, I believe I'm worthy. You see already the little question mark potentially? But the belief could also be, I totally believe. I believe the knowing, and there's no separation of those two. Or I could have, I know, and I'm not sure, but I kind of think so. If we forget who we are, though, here, if we forget who we are, if we no longer believe that we're loving, worthy children of God, the beliefs are going to change what's going to flow to the next chakra. Does that make sense? It's coming through a filter from the God I am to the beliefs. The beliefs can empower it and continue it on, or can start to constrict on it. And if we forget who we are, we desperately long to see some tangible evidence of, even if it's not positive. It's like accepting relationships. Like, I know who I am, I believe starts to change that. And what starts to happen is, now that I'm already doubting, the ego starts to tell us, look, even if you're just 20% not holy, then we need to manifest something outside to compensate for that missing 20%, or else you're going to be miserable. So even in our beliefs, the ego is already bargaining with us to tell us, if there's anything missing, let me help you, beloved, which you're not. It's beloved. Let me help you, beloved. I'm going to make up for it. If there's anything missing from in here, we'll compensate for it by manufacturing it in the outside world. Such as, even if you're a little, like 20% unlovable, you know what we need? Someone to make you feel lovable. Oh, you can do that? Oh, of course I can. I know just the just the wonderful soul mate that you could create. Oh, you really? And we buy into it. You see? So we're already up creek. Now, the creation energy flows down to the mind. Our mind then formulates an image or blueprint of the thing that our mind thinks is suitable and resonating with the belief systems. So people are all into the power of the mind, but the mind is only doing what it thinks is suitable to what your belief systems are. You get that? So there's people out there going, mind power, mind power, mind power. They don't realize it's already been determined by your beliefs. So even if you use mind power, you can only really ramp it up as much as your beliefs are going to be willing to let it be, or can taint it. Then the emotional chakra, the energy flows to the emotional chakra, and it sets up a magnetic attraction, stirring a desire to find that thing. So when energy hits my emotional chakra, it starts stirring where's that thing that completes me if I lost at all my original flow? If the original flow is happening, it's perfect. It goes like this. I am. In my beliefs, I agree that I am. My mind now comes in to support that and starts putting together a matrix of something to manifest that will support that I am. My emotions go, God, this is exciting. There's a child of God who's in the I am, and the mind is all in agreement. We're getting excited to see what's going to be born today. And then, hallelujah. The Christ is born. You win the lottery. You find beautiful relation and so on. It all comes through from crown all the way to root and in our manifested life. That's what it could look like. What it usually looks like is, I am, not sure, oh crap, I'm not feeling very good, and then, oh, you again. Another betrayer, and you see? And people go, but wait. I've heard about the manifestation techniques, so I'm going to sit here and just concentrate. I'm going to fix them. I'm going to put a nice shirt on the creep that's coming into my life. I'm going to dress them up better. You can't change you without changing you. You can't change your life. You can't change creation without changing the creator. It's not wrong out there. There is no out there. It's a hologram. It's only off or on in here. In my heart, because it's in my heart that I make choices. It's in my heart that I make choices. My mind is actually only designing what the heart's already told it. This is the ruler, Shen in Chinese medicine, and the mind is just the general following orders. And he gets the rest of the troops to do what it wants, which is the lower chakras. But like they say in Chinese medicine, if Shen, or the emperor, so to speak, if the Shen is weak or corrupted, the whole kingdom will be corrupted. This has to get right. How? Oh my God, how do I fix that? Looking inside at our corrupted programs, our belief system, tracking to our soul level healing and uprooting things that we don't choose to have running our lives anymore. Take out the disease that someone's poisoned the ruler. Somebody's given poison to our inner soul, ruler, and keeps poisoning it gradually until it dies. So, what's poisoning the ruler? Low self-worth, my core issues, all of my core beliefs. Track them down through healing processes. Uproot them, let them go, put in healthiness. It's like saying let's let some of the, do some a transfusion and allow some of the toxins we put into the bloodstream to get out and give new, fresh, healthy blood to the ruler. It's along those lines, metaphorically. So, like A Course in Miracles was saying, and I was saying in my quote, we bring our creations to manifestation, and the worst part about it is most of us at that point just kind of go, well, that's that. I have to deal with what I have. This is it. It's my plight. It's my situation. Like it or don't like it, you have no power of changing it. I can't change that. I can't change what they pay me at work. I can't change whether my partner's going to be healthier or not. It's not my fault. Again, you'd be surprised to see what happens when the journey into oneself is taken and you start seeing the corrupt programs in here and start uprooting, do the spiritual Norton antivirus technique where you go in and quarantine your mistaken belief systems, low self-worth, and so on. And we've got lots of them. But you don't have to hunt down as many as you think. We may have 1,000 patterns in our life of misbehavings and patterns of what we create, but they're all rooted down to just a few core beliefs, believe it or not. So we only need to track down the most consistent belief systems that are off. And the most important of them all is that we are separate from God and from each other. And one way to know, you could say, oh, okay, so I'll get that. Spiritually, I'll fix that by saying oneness, 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 which helps. It's okay. Chant oneness. We're all one. We are the world. Go ahead. Sing it that we're one. Get all into the zone with that. But to practice it, one of the scariest ways to practice the knowingness that we are one is to take responsibility and know that Loki and religion, Set and Satan and all that, they're also reflections of myself. If we're all one, then even the people I blamed from the past are showing me weaknesses within myself. If I can get that, then I am affirming that we're one. It's easy to affirm the nice part of you is part of me. That part's not the part you're supposed to be chanting. That's easy. I like you. We are one. It's people you don't like or behaviors you don't like that you're going, I'm one with all except that and them and her and him and that guy and that one. You can't segment heaven and then want to go there. It'll look like hell, this place. So, because God is one. So instead we start to go, and I know this is hard for folks because it's not easy to convey we're one and that people, when they act up, they're reflecting things to us because we know this planet has had some very hurtful people. Whether it's someone abusing you as a child or whether it's a psycho, megalomaniac, running countries and causing wars and whatever. I'm actually talking historic. I didn't mean present. I didn't, but I could tell by a few reactions like, he's talking about, it's hard to picture those kinds of people and go, they're actually reflecting weaknesses within ourselves, but they are. It doesn't justify what they did or what they're doing. I'm only saying they're reflecting weaknesses. Well, if I was a child, what kind of weakness in me? Don't blame yourself as a child. But remember, you're a soul that's coming in with your own self-doubts. But don't beat yourself up over that. Don't go into that. Just recognize, accept what you can. Accept what you're willing to accept for now, and the rest will reveal itself. You don't have to get the whole enchilada all at once. but start practicing just the very notion it is possible that we're all connected, and that even the people that are the most hurtful are part of the oneness, not part of God, but a symptom of, meaning we're all one. These folks are not reflecting God when they're being hurtful, but they still, for me to know the non-hurtful part of them, for me to know the God part of them, I have to be willing to know the hurtful part, the non-God part that I can say goodbye to. And I can't say goodbye to the hurtful part of anybody while I'm still inflating it as an evil that cannot be overcome. That's what it means by everyone is coming from a place of love or a cry for love. And I need to learn to answer the cry for love. Instead of, I like love beings, but not non-loving beings. If we're all one, how do we bring these people in? Here's the not accurate way to do it. Enabling them. And, I've learned to do that when I've come to this or any other center I've ever been at as just teacher, or one that I'm a spiritual leader in. When I come here and people are saying, this is Sedona, we love to enable all kinds of behaviors because it demonstrates our acceptance of everyone. And I did that for a day and a half. I tried. I'm like, but don't you guys see the lies that you're living? Oh no, we're not lying. We're just accepting all the dysfunctionalness of the people in the area hurting each other. And here's another idea. Get out. This is a sacred space. If you want to be here, you have to be in a sacred state of mind. I'm not saying we're judging and hating the other. Would you like to bring it here so we could heal it? And that's what you do with people that seem to come from a place of fear or a cry for love. You don't have to enable their behaviors. It's not about enabling behaviors. It's more coming from a place of, wow, I can see that's kind of hurtful. Instead of going to their level of pain and hurting and getting in the you get me and I'm going to get you back, stand in the light and say, love or a cry for love. I'm hearing a cry for love. I'm not saying I would use those words to them, but it's a cry for love. Would you like to enter this space? You and I could go to counseling. No, I don't believe in counseling. You and I could do some forgiveness work. No, I don't want to do. Bye. I'm calling you. That means I'm not judging, because I'm still willing for you to come to this space and learn to be in a state of love. If what you're doing is a cry for love, let's answer it. You ready? No. Sorry to hear that. Still love you. Goodbye. And those are healthy boundaries. You're not practicing boundaries if you're not willing to imagine that they too are worthy of the kingdom of heaven. And the kingdom of heaven is what I'm choosing to live right here in my column of light. Would you like to join me? Guys, all you can do is offer. Offer once, twice, 3 times. Offer forever. But the offer is always open if you want to come here. The offer does not mean I'm going to lose my center to go to you. It means I'll stand right at the border of sanity and insanity. Right at the border. Would you like to join me? No, in fact, I'm going to go to the furthest recesses away from sanity until you can come to my place. I want you to hate me as much as, I hate you. I want you to react every time I call. I'm not even going to answer the phone when you call if it doesn't start with a text that says, I would like to be nice. You see? Set the tone, guys. If we're co-creators, how do you expect to go out to the orchestra, not tell them what key you're playing in? It's like going out to the orchestra. Everybody solo, all at once, ready, go. And you're just going to have noise, a cacophony of noise. Everybody just, blah, 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 all these instruments going every direction. How about what's called harmony? And if you don't know how to play in that key, don't play. But here's what it sounds like. Do you like that? I kind of do. It might be rough, but I'd like to learn it. But I might be rough at it at first. It might take me a minute to learn how to play that on my instrument. Can you give me a minute? Absolutely. That's called patience. That's called love. That's called forgiveness. But are they trying to become part of the harmony? Just remember, don't let people pull you to the inharmony. And don't hate them for trying to do that. Forgive them. They know not what they do. Doesn't mean, though, go and become part of the not knowing what they do. Is that all making sense? I hope so. That's cool. Let's take a few centering breaths. While you're stretching just for a moment and kind of getting prepared to do a brief meditation, then we'll do our closing. Keep in mind, there's a DVD set that we have called Rebuilding a New Life. And in there we talk about things like change and acceptance and creating our day and so on. So if it's of interest, watching online or here, then that's the one you're looking for, is Rebuilding a New Life. And continue. Make sure the kinks are out of the neck. Just kind of stretch out a little bit. Let the body become kind of relaxed and centered. So it's symbolizing a holy space. And in that holy space, we join. In that holy space, we find the altar of God. Briefly, let's imagine, just imagine, make believe, that there's this beautiful light in the upper three chakras, this beautiful, graceful, untainted, and incapable of being tainted light of God, this presence. This place is the heaven we speak of. These are the heavens that people try to find when they look up with their eyes. It's not found with the eyes, it's right here within us, up in the highest recesses of our being. In this place, not even the slightest doubts can enter. How amazing is that, to imagine untainted, unrestricted, unlimited presence of God all this time has been right here. And then this is the I know I am God. Be still and know I am God. Here it is. This is the I am, the knowing that I am. So even if it's make-believe the wow factor to that. The wow, it's right here. How cool is that? Imagine that pouring with your next breath from the heavens down into your heart, untainted. And this is just going to be brief. Into the heart, we breathe it in, exhale. That's my belief. I believe that I am. And then the next belief, the next breath down from the heavens, down to the solar plexus. And I think too. I not only know, I believe, and I think in alignment with God. My thoughts all begin to line up, everything getting in sync. The next breath down to the navel, the tummy, the emotions. And I breathe in, I feel, emotionally, I'm feeling that presence. I know, I believe, I think, and I feel part of God. It's flowing effortlessly through me by my very drawing in of that presence. And then to the root chakra, I experience all the way from the heavens, oh my God, pouring all the way to the root. Activated root chakra. Even if I came in unplugged in the root chakra, struggling with despair, depression, not knowing if I have a purpose to live, having issues with vitality, health, immunity, the root chakra is strained when those things are happening. So draw the presence of God all the way down. Picture all the centers ignited. And then this column of light running from top to root, igniting them all, holding the space of all of that knowingness, that light. Fully awakened, fully accepting. While holding that presence and imagining what it must feel like to be in that much alignment. just imagine if there were any kinds of beliefs that could drift in from the outside, drift into your heart to throw off this flow. What kind of belief systems, let the Holy Spirit help you with this. What kind of belief systems would be there to throw you off? What kind of core belief systems might you have that take you out of knowing of God? And then just see that and push them back. Push them outside for a moment. What kind of thoughts going to the solar plexus? What kind of thoughts do you have? Day-to-day thoughts that could take you off your center, that could leak in and sabotage that flow from crown to root. Day-to-day thoughts. And just push them back a little bit. Emotions. What kinds of day-to-day emotions might you have, do you have, that can take you off center, that what could leak in and taint this flow, infect this flow? Emotions. Sadness, hurt, angers. And push it back a little bit. What kind of external experiences, meaning manifested, funds, lack of touch and affection, job issues, house issues, health issues that leak into your center and take you off? See them objectively if possible, but it's okay if they evoke emotion, any of these. And then push them back a bit. Come back to your awareness of pure center, pure light. Recognize if just that hypothetical visualization we just did took you any amount out of that light. And it's important to note that. But you've pushed them all back and you're back in your center. Now, as we're closing, just hold your center and recognize all of those things you just named, from heart to root, all of those are a choice to allow them in to infect or not. You can push them back, but they'll still be there knocking. They're always a choice. And remember, if you uproot the ego in the soul, up in the heart and soul, these things will have less of an attraction in the first place. But they're a choice. And remember the words, not today. When any of those distractions out there try to work their way in, pause, not today, and back to your center. You can change the words to, be still and know I am God, or any words that seem right. Back off and know that I choose the holiness of God as my identity. I choose to know, believe, think, feel, and experience only the presence of God. See that, hear that, feel that. Know that the angels come swooping in to help you hold that space. They come in to midwife the birth of that commitment again and again and again. 1 trillion times, if need be. They never give up on us. But we're asked not to give up on ourselves. And we close by giving thanks, Father, Mother, God, for the reminders today. We give thanks that we stand in this not alone, but with you, with the angels, and with our brothers and sisters, to remind us who we really are, what we're really meant to experience and feel. And so it is. Just take a moment to slowly stretch. a knowingness that this is retained inside. And we're going to take a moment. We'll do our collection and closing song and be done for today. Take your time, though. Take your time. Breathe, integrate, take your time. Take your time with it so that you're not breaking out of the intention and the prayer.